This segment is brought to you by Waits and Downer, attorneys at law.
Hello and welcome back to this edition of Bayou Time. Again, your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us. However you may be joining us, we appreciate it very, very much. And listen, guys, whenever we get some good news about an appointment, it's always good for people to come on and tell you a little bit about their story and to tell you what's happening. We're very glad to welcome to the program Ms. Joni Dusenberry. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. So let's walk through a little bit about how this came to be and how this process was and this new appointment that you're going to start over in October.
Yes. So, and the beginning of February, we were at a principal's retreat, and our current executive director of the Office of Catholic Education let us know that she was going to retire. And immediately I started discerning about whether this would be a position that I would be interested in applying for. And when I started praying, things just kept happening, and God just was like, this is what your step is next. So I took it, took all those signs and applied. And from the beginning, I said, if this is God's will, it's just going to work out. I've been at the current school in Columbus, Mississippi, where I am currently principal for 14 years. And so the last 2 weeks has been a complete whirlwind. I interviewed, was offered the position, and we did some back and forth a little bit, and it is official that I will be the executive director for the Office of Catholic Education for the Diocese of Jackson.
Well, so congratulations. What a great honor that is. But, you spent your time, 14 years, right, as principal of this particular school. And so it's so neat to be able to kind of move to that progression. But, one of the things you mentioned a word that I don't know that everybody understands, but discernment is the very intense, prayerful process of asking God to lead you to do His will in where it is that He wants you to be. And so I am fortunate that I have been able to be a part of that discernment process for selections in the past. And so I'm very glad that you and he both said yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, because sometimes He leads us and we're like, no, no, no. And He's like, yes, yes, yes.
Right.
I'm mindful of something on a plaque on my mom and dad's wall where 3 times the Lord said, say we. And I said, I. And He said, say we. And I said, I. And at some point I just bowed my head and said, yes, we, Lord. And so that's just great news. Tell us what your excitement is about the position and what you feel like you'll be able to bring to it.
My excitement really is mainly about affecting and having an effect on a bigger, diverse group of individuals, whether it's going to be principals, teachers, pastors, community members, stakeholders, students. I'm at a smaller community in Columbus, Mississippi, and just the impact I've had on that smaller community. So my excitement comes that I'm going to be touching so many more lives.
Well, and again, being from Houma and serving your time here and spending time over at St. Joseph and 25 years experience, right?
26 total years of experience. I actually started, and I credit all of my journey to my foundation, which I started at St. Bernadette.
Okay.
And started school there, and then I went to Vanderbilt for about 1.5 years.
Right.
And just that drive, the goal setting, and not only the academic piece, but the virtues, the values, all of it just playing together and all of it going hand in hand.
Yeah, they work together, especially when we're listening, right? When we're like, okay, I'm open to whatever it is and where I'm supposed to be, right? And open to that. I love the path that you've been able to kind of carve out for yourself, but I really like and I'm excited about the fact that you're looking forward to really making an impact on more people. And so this position allows you to kind of touch more lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very good. And so, hey, did you ever think you would be in this point? Did you ever think, man, you did?
I always had some inspirations when people would get up. So when I came to school in Columbus, Mississippi, went back to Houma a year and taught actually at St. Bernadette for that 1 year. And then went in the Starkville Public School District. And I can remember seeing presenters and being like, I want to be them one day. Like, I want to be that assistant superintendent or that superintendent one day. So it's always kind of been in my head. So yeah, I kind of did always have that aspiration.
Yeah. You know, it's really interesting. As a young man going through the seminary for a summer, I kind of really aspired to the impact, right, that the priest had every day or every week.
Right.
And so now you are at that point where you've kind of looked at other people and go, I want to make an impact like they do. And so it's exciting that you here come October the 25th, October 1st, 2025, you'll be able to make that impact like you've wanted to. And I'm sure you're looking forward to it.
I am.
Yeah.
I am.
Very good. What are some of the pillars that you believe you want to bring to this position as the Executive Director of the Diocese of Jackson, Mississippi Catholic Schools?
Collaboration is mainly one that I think we need to continue doing. And then also our Catholic identity to make sure we do not forget what our faith is rooted in.
Yeah, Matthew Kelly says all the time, be bold, be Catholic. And it sounds like that's the path that you're on to be that representative for that area. And so for the Jackson, Mississippi schools and the Catholic schools, that's really exciting for you. And so we'll be rooting for you. And so great news. Thank you for going and taking your education, coming back here, making an impact, right? And then realizing, no, we want her back over here. And then kind of following that God led you back to where you did some of the training and some of that education. So we're excited for you. Call us back. Let us know how things are going. We certainly want to always love to see one of our homegrown do so very well and make an impact at leading others. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate the time.
Absolutely. All right, guys, that'll do it for this particular segment and this Bayou Time, but don't go anywhere. I got a whole lot more right here on HTV.
This segment was brought to you by Waits and Downer, attorneys at law.